morning. It's also definitely not like 2 p.m. But today, I'm actually going to fix my car. Well, not necessarily fix. Someone scraped the side of my car, so I have a bunch of paint gashes on the side of my car. So today, I'm going to go outside and fix it. I ordered this paint kit from Automotive Touch-Up, and it's an entire touch-up paint kit. So from the primer to the sanding, the actual OEM paint itself, basically to get her back stark and new as possible. Down the line, money permitted, I definitely want to get her wrapped or painted a different color. But for now, I'm gonna leave her as just a crisp, clean OEM black, because that is what we're going to, stick with for a while. We want to keep her clean, want to keep her nice until I can come around to that time that we can do it. So, here's a paint kit. I already opened it. We just now opened it. And in it is a bunch of small little baby stuff. I didn't get a big one because it's only a bunch of small spotty spots on my car. So it's, oh, they're so tiny. They're so tiny. So I got these little paint kits. Ooh, okay, yeah. So, oh, you can smell it. You can smell it. Okay, so this is my order receipt. I'm not going to show you guys my order receipt. But yeah, it's the touch-up paint, the clear coat, the primer, the sandpaper, micro dabbers, and then paint prep surface wipe. So it comes with the wipe that I can clean it up immediately, the sanding paper. What's the grit on this, actually? Is it multiple different grits? Oh, it's assorted. Okay, so there's an 180, 320, 600, 1000, and 1500 grit. Okay. Okay, automatic touch-up. Versatility, okay. And then we got all of this stuff. Hold on. Let me set all this bad boy up and then show you guys what I'm working with. Okay, so now I have everything in front of me. Like I said, I have the prep wipe. I have the assorted grit pack for the sanding and getting it all level. And then I have the base coat color, which is the regular OEM black my car comes in. There's 2 different blacks. I think mine was like Raven black, which was fucking metal as shit. I was like, damn, fuck yeah. So I got the Raven black, and then I have a clear coat. So for whenever we're done, the sandable primer. So that's perfect. I can definitely level everything out, and then a little rubber compound gloss coat, I guess, for the end. So I'm gonna take all these outside. I'm gonna take you guys outside, and then I'm most likely gonna do a time lapse, because God knows how long it's gonna take me to do this. But I'm gonna do a little time lapse, and then stop in between to show you where I'm at, what's going on, and all that good stuff. So hope you guys enjoy. Stick with me, and hope to God my car does not get fucked up more. Okay, so change of plans. It's hotter than the devil's booty cheeks outside, which we were always planning to do it. And then I also have a little canopy that I can put up, a transportable canopy, kind of used for camping, but I forgot it's in storage. I do not have it here, and Texas is hotter than the devil's booty cheeks. So I'm gonna go to my friend's house, and he's gonna let me do it in his garage, which, hell yeah. So I will fast forward to there, and I will see you guys when I get there, okay? So as you guys can see, this is how my car looked before I did any of the paint, and realistically, looking back at all the footage of me doing this, I really could have just put paint over this, but I definitely wanted to make sure that it was all level and ready to go before I started actually, doing everything. Here we're going in with that prep wipe that was included in that pack, basically making sure everything's clean and ready to go. I definitely should have washed my car prior to doing this, but I didn't really get around to it, so this prep wipe was really, really useful in using this. And then we will then go in with the grit. I'm going to use the highest grit included in the pack, just so I can level out all the marks on the car and basically lay an even foundation for the paint to lay, basically going from the roughest to the smoothest grit that we have in the pack, just so I can make it as level as possible and make the foundation and the transition from the regular paint to the new paint a little more seamless and make it look cleaner And then once I finish with that, I'm gonna go through and clean up all of this mess so we can get all of that dust, all the dust particles, and the extra paint that might have just stuck on there off of the car so that it doesn't stick with the extra paint that we're gonna end up adding on to here. And then we are on to primer. The primer is sandable, thank goodness. So I was able to put this primer on and sand it down. It definitely did give me a lot harder of a time using this, I would definitely say, because I was using that tiny brush instead of that rub method I did. Closer to the end here, you'll see that I switched from using that tiny brush over to the rubbing method that I used. And honestly, I should have used the rubbing method the entire time, because I believe that doing this, even though I sanded it, left a lot of just texture under the paint because of how small the brush was and just how long and tedious. Just think of, like, for my ladies, just think of whenever you pull out an old nail polish bottle and it's just super chunky. That's exactly what I'm working with. And then there's like no loosening alcohol or anything like that. It's just a ball in there that you shake up. So it's definitely a little bit rougher, but I was able to use that rubbing method, and it helped a lot more than this like tiny little brush that they included in the pack, which is, you know, probably due to the size of the actual bottle itself, because I didn't need that much of the primer itself. But the paint, I definitely think you should get more paint than what you actually need. I think that's common sense, but you know, I was just being hopeful and hoping for the best, making sure that I had enough paint. But in the end, it definitely all worked out, and my homie was super sweet and brought out some sweet tea for me while I was working in his garage. So bless his heart, he's amazing. But definitely going through all this was a lesson, and sometimes you just gotta learn this up by doing it the hard way and doing it yourself. So honestly, I enjoyed my time here. So we're gonna watch through this and come back in a little bit. Now this is around the point where the garage was starting to get really hot and I was starting to get really frustrated. At this point, I had ripped a pair of gloves because the gloves were they're very thin. And then, you know, I was like, dang, this sucks. Let me just go ahead and start rubbing this on. And it started working better. And the stand that I had my phone on, it stopped attaching onto my phone. So it just kept falling. So there were just a bunch of little minuscule things that were happening that made me kind of frustrated. But at this point, I was just kind of like, all right, let me turn on some music, chill, and you know, work through this and see what I can do. And honestly, it was really fun, you know, minus the setbacks and, you know, the seamlessness of the paint sticking being an issue. It was still really fun. I think just having a chill Saturday afternoon where you're just going through working on your car, or just, you know, cleaning up your house, something that's just maintenance to you and your personality and what matters most to you, especially being someone who loves their car. I definitely want my car to look nice, and it's definitely a big part of me. So doing this is fun and having hands on. And then growing up myself with a dad who definitely put me into these things, working on cars, building things, being more constructive based. It was really nice. So I definitely will most likely do this again, but if the spot is bigger than this, I'm getting it sprayed down. There's no way I'm sitting here and doing this again. But if it's like a smaller range of my car, I'll definitely go in and do this again. But if it's a bigger thing, yeah, I might have to pay someone to do that. But we'll go ahead and watch through this, and then I'll come back when we get to the next part. Alright, so here we are finally finishing up with that primer, and then I actually ended up ripping this pair of gloves as well. Please get a thick pair of gloves if you're going to do this. You do not want this on your hands. It will burn and it will hurt. And then we have to wait 30 minutes for it to dry. I'm going to come back and sand it, and this is what happened with my gloves. So yeah. My stand broke, so now I have to put two things. Like, I have a tape measure and a lithium ion battery holding you up right now. It's so off kilter, dude. It's so fucking off kilter. Okay. That's better, but holy fuck, dude. But yeah, now it's time to sand down the primer and clean her up. So for this sanding, I didn't spend too much time on this. I used the next level of grit that we had in the pack to level us out and spend a lot more time on the actual wheel arc, because I didn't want anything hanging off or, you know, being anything detrimental to the wheel, or just, you know, smoothing it out overall. So I didn't spend too much time on this. And then I'm gonna head straight into the paint because there's no drying method or anything like that. Making sure to clean this up. I am also cutting out parts where I'm going to the other side of my car because you can't really see me and there's just kind of empty space. But yeah, so after this we're gonna head straight into painting, and then we're gonna see, you know, the method of the madness for that part. So here we are finally getting to the paint. So I did the same thing with the primer when I started off with the little brush, but that brush is so tiny. It's like a paint nail brush to do this, and it just came out really chunky, and it spent a lot of time. But here's where I noticed that like paint matching to your car's actual model, like the OEM paint that comes with your car, is so big. Because if I had a slightly off color of black, because yes, there is multiple different shades of black, it definitely would have shown more than just having an OEM color match to my car. But eventually down the line I started doing the rubbing method, which actually helps. But please get more paint than you actually need. If you have leftovers, like, fantastic, you can use that for something else that might happen, or if you ever want to do touch-ups to your car. But I think I just barely had enough with everything I wanted to do. And then at one point, I believe I asked my homie, I was like, hey, I think I want to sand off this chunky part back here with this little paintbrush. But if I did, I still would have a gigantic gray spot on the side of my car. So I'm happy I didn't, but definitely get more paint than you actually need, because I definitely lucked out on this. But this is painting it with the brush, and this is just rubbing.
Yeah, rubbing is more smooth.
Oh, it's more smooth. Exactly. And I can't really sand that, or else it's not going to be more paint.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, rubbing is fine. I'm just going to rub it again.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm debating on if I should fucking sand that side.
You have someone on also don't want to see or anything?
No, okay. But you know, I'll come in there.
Okay.
I know you're busy doing something.
Okay.
You don't have to play host 24/7. I appreciate it though.
I'm still going to.
Shout out and thanks so much to him for letting me use his garage, and then coming to check up on me every once in a while, you know, and seeing how I was doing, and basically seeing the progress of the car. We definitely agreed down the line that you know, it was smoother to do it by hand than to do it by that tiny little paintbrush that I had. But I actually had to call him out to help put a double set of gloves on me, because it was so sticky and my hands were sticking together. And I believe that's the first couple times why my gloves had started to rip, because I was putting so much resistance with the stickiness and all of the paint on my hands. And once again, please get thick gloves if you're gonna doing this, and I mean very thick gloves, because you do not want this on your skin. It is very irritating. It's itchy, especially if you have sensitive skin. You know, it causes a lot of problems. So you definitely want to be safe. And I didn't have goggles. Goggles would have been safe as well, but you know, I kind of did what I had with what I worked with, you know. So Not really the best. This is not a safety tutorial, so don't take this as safety. But, you know, definitely be more protected, and making sure that you are not getting any of this on you is key. So, you know, we're just going to finish off this paint and see where we are. And then I will meet you guys back and talk to you about what's going on with it.
Exciting.
Yeah, right now it looks like dust, but I think it's still some of the gray showing through. So
Still so stupid that someone did that without a no nothing. Just probably did it with like juices.
yeah, no. Literally, while I was at work too, so I know it's someone in the fucking office building.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is cool.
Love that.
All right, but yeah, that's looking pretty good.
Guys, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't want you out here, baby girl, because you're gonna be smelling.
Yeah, that's all me too short, baby.
Yeah. So here's where we're at. From afar, you can't really tell. Some of it is definitely glare, like over here. This is like dirt and stuff and glare. But like if you get to over here, it's not bad. I definitely want to use, I'm running out of paint, but there's only very small parts like over here. It's pretty much done, but there's little small pieces, and like for example, stuff like this. These little dots in this space up here is done too, but just cleaning it up a little more, that's what I want to do. But so far, you can't really tell. And then I still have the high gloss coat too. So once I'm done with that, I have not only the clear coat, the little clear coat that comes with it as well. I don't know if you guys can see it because the light is weird. So I still have the clear coat, and then I also still have like the rubbing compound, right? I have so much left, but she's looking good. So I did the entire wheel hub, and then when I first got my car, the previous owner had a couple of little hail dents on it, so I did the hood as well. So some of the dents in the hood is mostly just like hood dentage, but like the actual paint spots where the hood came off, like the paint, I think once, let me try to find a spot right here. This was a spot right here, so I'm not sure if you can actually see it where my finger is. That was the spot as well. So it's not looking bad, especially for, you know, having my car scraped up, don't know who did it, and to this. And I'm not going to be, it's not my final product. I'm definitely, once I get more money down the line, going to like I said, wrap her or paint her a different color. Don't know yet, but as for this, it's coming out pretty well. So hold on, let me paint this correctly so this is all wavy. Okay, so now I'm going to do the top coat. Oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy. Do the top coat down. Sorry, my homie's playing music in the background. She ain't looking too shabby. So now top coat, clear coat, shake well and apply. What the f? I was trying to see the directions in the first, oh, I'm sorry, it's my language. First thing I see is vapors may ignite explosively if near heat. It's warm in here, but it's not like hot. It's not like, I'm not gonna open this bottle and explosively combust. We're chill. Don't even worry about it. You stressed out for nothing. I'm gonna do this top coat. And then we got the rubber coat, I think, the rubber compound after that. And then she's done. I don't know if I'm supposed to take her to a car wash when I'm done. That might be kind of bad. Might wait a day or two, maybe a couple days before I do that. But yeah, hopefully it turns out good. I think I'm gonna do the rubbing method like I did before. Because I think doing this little, it's making it kind of chunky. And it's not giving me like a nice rub. And I don't think I can use, I don't have like a big brush or like a non-resistant cloth to be able to do that with that won't get hairy. So I'm gonna rub for the small spots on my hood. I'm probably gonna use the brush, but for this I'm just gonna, so let's get to it. So here we are putting on that top coat and finally getting to the end of this entire process. I put some before and after photos in the end, and I'll give my final thoughts once we get to that point. But this was definitely fun. I would most likely do this again, like I said, if it is a huge spot that I'm covering. But this is definitely, a learning process and something that you just go through to get used to. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Stay towards the end to see the final and pray with me, because it did not turn out the way I think it would, but it did turn out for a first timer, if you know what I mean. Definitely get thick gloves when you're doing this, because holy fuck. Okay, switch the camera. That's what we're working with. You can see it's a little spotty and spacey here. I think it's because it's uneven. Honestly, I wish I had a spray, because then it would go on evenly. Kind of hard to do with that very small brush. But for a patch up, not too bad for real. Not too bad, honestly. And then on the front hood, that's where I did some of the spot stuff. So that's where some of the heel marks were. There's like a little spot here. You can kind of see. You only see when the glare is on it for sure. On some of these smaller parts. There's one here. Can you see it here? Jeez. Okay. Well, that's good. And then on the hood here, little spot there. And then this whole area here had some scratches on it too. It wasn't really scratches. I know that the owner before me, like kind of scratched up this part of it. And then there was some here, which it's now drying up. But yeah, there's no white scratches. I think that's the biggest thing is like, I feel like I've done like a Sharpie type of treatment to it, but like it's not white scratches, it's no longer white scratches, at least black paint. So, so here is the final product outside, and this is definitely one of those things where it's like if you don't look too close you won't really tell. So from afar it doesn't look bad at all. My car is a black car, but then when you get closer you can definitely see that it's a patch job for sure. But it's definitely something that I learned, and I don't have the perfect technique down, but I did definitely get a lot of information out of this. And this is not sponsored, but thank you to Automotive Touch Up for making a kit that has everything inside of it with directions. Now it doesn't have direct directions, but it definitely tells you what to do, what not to do, and basically gives you everything you need to do it. So Again, this was super fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. And have a good rest of your day. Or whenever you're up, if you're a nighttime DJ and could take your booty cheeks to bed, bruh. Bye.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about in this song, but it's lit. I hop on a beat like whoa, 22 never in defeat like whoa. No. I move like liquid, stamina, Fitbit, Gemini, mood switch up. I'm third eye blind to the nonsense, whole lifetime in a guide. Cross my line for profit, never that pride too high to be honest. Gold mine all of my blood.